Welcome to today's special episode of Taking Care of Business at Sea.
Bring it! What? We right here. We're not going anywhere. We right here.
About how to become a millionaire in Dubai. It's more about what's happening in Dubai to the residents.
Why are more people than ever ditching the UK?
In the UK, there's a clash of cultures.
Yeah.
We have churches in Jebel Ali where people get married, Christian churches. We have mosques on the Palm Jumeirah. Dubai, a better place to live? Yes, it is. I'm saying that as an English person with an English passport.
All roads lead to Dubai and also North.
Yeah, because when you move here, we'll find you at home. If you do that, fast forward 5 years, financially, mentally, and healthily, you will be in the best place you could be. The surprising fact is not that millionaires are moving here. Millionaires are being made from living in Dubai. Welcome to today's special episode of Taking Care of Business at Sea. I think that's quite apt for where we're going with today's podcast. There was some news out in the Khaleej Times saying that every 45 minutes, there is a millionaire that leaves the UK. So we're here today to discuss with Cameron Hutchison, the head of the recruitment, who is, you've definitely got one toe or foot in the UK job market as well as the UAE. Here to discuss the UK millionaires.
Yes, I am.
And the Dubai millionaire mindset.
And also how people can become millionaires by moving to Dubai.
Yeah, I think that's quite a big factor. I mean, look, a lot of people do move to Dubai when we talk about this podcast. And again, the podcast name is The Millionaire Effect. This is not about how to become a millionaire in Dubai. It's more about what's happening in Dubai to the residents.
Correct.
And also the people that maybe already have wealth in their home country, why and how they're relocating here. So the first fact, we are third. We are third in terms of the relocation for the UAE. You have number Spain in number 2, and I think it's Australia at number 1.
Yeah, we're definitely third. I know that.
So what does that tell you? Because if Dubai is tax-free and Australia obviously isn't, it's not just money for a lot of people these days.
Well, it's about safety. I think there's more to it than just money. I'm actually surprised that the UAE is third, if I'm honest.
Okay. Why?
Because really
We're the best.
We should be first. When we think about the fact that you don't pay any tax on any investments or on any income, the weather, the safety aspect, I personally think we should be first. But
that's you planting the UAE flag firmly there.
100%.
I mean, you have to consider with the UAE, you have. With Australia that's sitting at number 1, that has a draw for a lot of people. It's the surfing, the lifestyle. It has everything from the city to the beach, a bit like Dubai, but it's bigger. You know, there's a lot more land and a lot more opportunity for development.
Yeah, but it's also very far away. Don't you think the UAE? It's a magnet because of where it is.
I didn't make the stats up.
In the middle. I know. I'm arguing with you.
I know. I'm not.
Who got these figures?
The government statistics board.
They are wrong. Dubai, UAE is number 1.
Okay, so I mean, look. I think the world has changed so much for me, watching it from when I was a child and your parents would live. I mean, my parents specifically live in England. My dad now comes to Dubai as a place here and dips in every 6 to 8 weeks a year. But most of our parents, they're rooted in England, and they'll probably stay in England, and unfortunately probably die in England.
Sadly.
Hope no time soon, obviously.
Touch wood.
But if you look at the generation we're in, there's a chance we won't end in Dubai. There's a chance we'll have roots elsewhere. I'm not saying we leave Dubai, but we're people of the world in today's generation. I mean, I always say this to everybody else. So you look at our mums and dads, there was an opportunity for an £8 flight to Amsterdam at 4 a.m. Flying at that point in the 60s and 70s was like the VIP thing to do.
Yep. But the world has become smaller because of travel. So I think our generation and our children and their children, the world will keep getting smaller. So we talked about moving to Dubai. When I first came here, people were like, why are you going to Dubai?
Camels and sand.
Camels, sand, the Middle East generally. But I think what we'll find is people will migrate away from the UK or their home countries even more so. Like back then, or even when you came here 17, 18 odd years ago, you came and you were the minority. Now, people in their droves are coming to the UAE. And it's not just Dubai that they're relocating to. We've said it earlier, right? Spain and
Yeah, I think social media plays a
Australia
big
as well.
part for a lot of people. I seen a crazy stat the other day, and someone said, "Do you know how many viewers?" And it's a guess, is one actual question for you. How many viewers prime time CNN had last week in 1 week in one slot? Have a guess how many viewership they had in one slot.
Wild guess. I'm going to say 20 million.
86,000 people tuned in live to the news on CNN. I have reels that have more than 86,000 views.
Oh.
That says to me, people are being influenced. Like, and I have this opinion on the world. People are influenced by, if you read the news enough times, you end up becoming negative. Especially in the UK, BBC on and tells you how many people are dying and how many people are getting taxed. People are probably watching reels. And as an example, on Instagram and TikTok, and saying, actually, I want to live in Dubai because I've just seen this guy post this, and it influences your mind process, which has probably a knock-on effect what we're talking about.
A slightly different topic, but related, is we mentioned about views rather than comments and likes. And actually, you said more and more people are viewing content, but not necessarily interacting with it, than they are commenting and liking. Well, Dubai does a very good job, and the UAE generally does a very good job of marketing itself.
Yeah.
Right.
I think I said it before. People get butthurt, don't they, about not having comments or likes. And one thing I try to teach all the team, I said, the win is in the views. The win is not in the likes. If you can land your marketing or your video or your photo into somebody's eyeballs, you've won.
Yeah.
But what people do is they go, I'm not posting because no one's commented. Maybe you'll like a comment. Let's be honest about it. But how many things do you want to see comment
on
on?
one of my posts, actually.
I'll do it in a minute.
Thanks.
You look nice, Cam.
That's the thing, though. It's fake, right?
Exactly.
Whereas engagement and impressions and views, that's what you want.
People are nosy. That's what they are. And I'm the same. Like, I comment on my friend's stuff, or I'll comment if I don't believe in something, but there might be a nice video of the one palm, and I'm like, oh, that's really nice, and I send it to Georgia or share it whilst we're in bed next to each other. We all do it, share reels, laugh on each other, but we don't comment. But if you're that consumer, you don't know that we've laughed in bed at your content. So people need to change the mindset, and that's a completely different subject.
It is. Well, let's get back to it then. Why are more people than ever ditching the UK?
Influenced a lot by Instagram, social media, TikTok. They're now seeing that there is another world out there, and that you don't need to just live on a holiday for 10 days. Actually, there are people living that life, and what's happening is that there's more people like lemmings jumping off the mountain. Lemmings, remember Lemmings? Lemmings is the game on the Sega Mega Drive. Everyone knows Lemmings, and basically they all jump off and they follow each other.
I'll be honest, I don't think everybody does know that.
Do you guys know Lemmings? Lemmings, the game? Lemmings. People on this, if you're watching this and you know what Lemmings, you've got to be like late 30s. It's a very popular game. Anyway,
I'm not there.
they all follow each other and jump off the bridge.
Right.
The moral to the story is, from my opinion, people are moving to the country and people go, oh, they haven't died. They actually are enjoying themselves. Maybe I should make that move. So the more people that are doing it, I think it's creating the opportunity. But why are people leaving the UK? I think the number two things. Weather, yes. Right now we're so fortunate to be sitting at sea, incredible views. But safety is probably a massive part of a lot of where the world's at the moment.
Perhaps more so than the money that you can earn or the wealth you can generate. People want safety for their kids. They want good schooling. They don't want to live in fear. And I know we might sensationalize it, but
I don't think it's sensationalizing.
But there are stories of kids at birthday parties that are murdered because of,
race, religion.
Yeah, it's not a good place to be. And that's not the whole of the UK.
No, it's
obviously.
not.
But
it's very political.
Here,
I mean, look, Dubai, people had this preconception 15 years ago about it. My mum come to Dubai recently, and she was like, wow, I can't believe Dubai really accepts Christmas, and everyone's doing Christmas trees and everything else. And then obviously Diwali comes, everyone's with Diwali, and then it's National Day. I mean, we went to see Santa, not the real one, obviously. It was in more of the Emirates. It might be the real one.
He's got many representatives.
Yeah, it might be the one my daughter thought was the real one. We went to see Santa, and when we were there, it's National Day, and they weren't playing the Christmas music. They were playing National, and I was like, cool, cool. It's National Day. The way that Dubai is built, it's there to accept everybody.
Yes.
And one of the reasons the UK, honestly, is in danger, this is not the UK, this is America and other places, everybody is upset and offended. And when you're offended in other parts of the world, basically there is rights to everything. You can be a man and a woman. You can be a barn pot. You can be a pot noodle, or you can literally be anything you want to be, and you can't even put a flag of your nation outside.
Yeah.
Like, what I find crazy, what are the 2 flags on this boat now?
I actually looked at that before we came on. There's the Union Jack and there is the UAE flag.
Yeah. Now, the rule is here, it might be the same everywhere, the biggest flag has to be where you own the yacht, but then you can have your home
As the secondary
secondary. So it's just very accepted. And I find that very much, it might be a sea thing, by the way. I'm not an expert at sea, but I love the fact that Dubai accepts. And I think that's where a lot of the problems are going to stem from, is that in the UK, there's a clash of cultures.
Yeah.
And let me finish this off. There shouldn't be, Cam, because there's a clash of cultures here, but Dubai understands and opens its arms to everyone. The UK doesn't.
But is it just the UK?
No.
I don't think it is. I think it's the Western world.
Have you seen Spain? Is it Barcelona? Somewhere, is it Barcelona or somewhere? Basically, they did. They've just done a, what do you call it? Not a stampede. What do you call it? A march. A march. Protest.
Protest.
And they're like trying to stop tourism from coming to the country because they're saying the tourists are taking all the houses.
Tax.
And Spain is trying to get 100% taxes. So if you buy a property for 100 grand sterling, you have to pay 100 grand. That will kill the property market in one foul swoop. So I just think Dubai has it right. We have beach clubs in front of us that serve alcohol. We have...
so you're allowed to drink alcohol in Dubai?
You're allowed to drink alcohol. We have churches in Jebel Ali where people get married, Christian churches. We have mosques on the Palm Jumeirah. Everything is accepted. So I think people are seeing the UAE as a forward-thinking city. And I'm going to leave it at this before we move on to the next subject. The reason that the UK is in trouble over the UAE leaders are leaders and they lead with power and they do it with authority. The UK, if you are the Prime Minister, you are an employee.
Yeah.
And your job is to say, we don't want to put that tax in. And what happens then? It goes for a vote of 100 people and they don't get it through.
Yeah.
And that's where there's a massive issue in the world at the moment.
But just to add on to that, because I know we're going to move on now, we've also got a situation here in the UAE where the leader has been the leader for a long period of time. So he's had a vision, right? And people before him have had the same vision.
Yeah.
Whereas in the UK, you're in for a term. And then you're out.
Yeah.
So more often than not, the people who are in government are trying to undo everything from the last government. So I don't feel like it ever moves forward.
Yeah, I think, look, the big thing is that is Dubai a better place to live as an individual or family? Yes, it is at this moment in time. And I'm saying that as an English person with an English passport, was from the age of 19, I've lived here and I have a house in England. Like, I'm not pro one or the other. I don't sit on one fence. England is not safe at the moment. There is taxation. There is many reasons the UK basically are trying to stop all of the successful entrepreneurs and find taxation for. Where the UAE, what does it do?
No, it doesn't charge tax. People want to invest and the UAE want you
And
to
they want the
invest.
talent.
Of course.
They're
they're
giving
attracting
golden
it.
visas to scientists, sports people. Like they're inviting everyone over that can bring something to this UAE nation and say, if you come here, we're going to open our arms to you.
So here's a curveball. Is there a danger to welcoming everyone?
Yes. I mean, the biggest danger Dubai has is, number one, it could get overpopulated, which I think we're very close to getting that level. I think we're at 3.8 million.
I mean, you only have to be in an elevator or on the road to know that it's busy.
I come here and the population was 1.76. So you're talking a 2 million gain in the time I've been here. And like the towers behind me, they weren't here. None of these towers were here.
No.
So yeah, there is that. There is going to be obviously people that maybe are not well-to-do could get here. But if you get a visa here, basically you have to go through a process. It's like a good conduct report and these things you have to go through. You can't just turn up and...
But everything's also linked to your Emirates ID. And again, I think we miss a trick in other parts of the world where they don't have the residency cards, where everything is linked. If you default on a phone payment, a car payment, a mortgage payment, it's linked directly to you. I feel like in the UK, there's ways and means for you to wiggle out of things.
Yeah, and I like that. People say to me, oh, you're controlled. I'm like, I actually like the level of control. If you look at the best people in the world and the best businesses, they all work on structure. It's not full freedom. You look at McDonald's as an example, one of the most biggest franchises in the world. People think they serve the best burger, but it's not that. Their model is you go to one station, you order your food. You go to the next station, they make it for you. The next station, you pay. The next station, you collect. In that whole structure, the real estate asset is also owned by McDonald's and rented back. It's not the burger. There is an ecosystem.
Yeah.
Dubai has this. And what I mean by that is every person that's here, you know who they are, where they're from, where they live. If you did the same thing in the US or UK and were someone, give me your ID now. They'd be like, I don't have one. Where do you live? Not telling you.
Human rights. No, you're not having it. It's private information.
And I just think if you live in this country, you should respect the rules. So yeah, I think Dubai is the best place on planet Earth at the moment. But the main reason people are moving here is safety or tax. Tax breaks and tax breaks. Oh, and beach breaks.
Well, what is it? Tax breaks or beach breaks? What is it for you? A bit of both.
I think your journey's different, isn't it? My journey at the start was tax breaks. I wanted to come here, elevate myself, make as much money as possible.
You mean you didn't want to get away from the cold weather?
No, it wasn't that.
Huh?
Well, when I moved to Dubai, I watched a TV program about being a millionaire. And I was like, I want to go there. Like, I don't think I can do it earning £12,000 basic salary in the UK. And it was just a punt at the time of doing that. And it was the best punt I ever taken. But there were a lot of people that would say, cool, if I earn the same money, my family can live on the beach at the weekend and we can go for nice walks and we can feel safe and go for dinner outside 9 months a year. They want that.
Yeah. Well, an interesting way to look at it, we always talk about the tax saving, right? So we don't pay any tax in Dubai, and that's amazing. My friend said to me the other day, what you've got to think is, could you afford your lifestyle back in the UK? Double everything everything you have now, but it costs you double to do. Could you do it? And a lot of people will say, actually, it's about the tax saving, but they aren't aware that actually they couldn't have the lifestyle that they have here back in England.
Well, look, I repeat the same thing. We'd be sitting on a bench in Coventry now, doing this podcast. That's the honest truth. Like, I said in the podcast before, a lot of things are free in Dubai. The beaches, you can walk down JBR and it's free. You can walk down Kite Beach. Where you go down Kite Beach, if anyone has not been to Dubai, you go down there, all restaurants on the front. There are kids that have bought kites for £10 off the beach. All the families there, they've got their dogs there. There's running tracks, skating tracks. Everybody's happy. There's no homeless there that have their rights to get their free SIM card and everything. Every person, you look around like family, winner, good person, and you sit there and you're like, this is cool. And for me, that feel of Dubai is probably the number one thing why a lot of think of the millionaire migrations, because a lot of footballers are buying here at the moment.
Yes, they are.
We've got non-disclosures with every high-level sale that we do. But there are some really, really, really high-profile footballers that are bought from the Allsop and Allsop private office that are saying, cool, when I retire, I'm not staying where I am now. I'm coming to this place, and I can't get there just yet. What does that tell you?
Well, sports people, wealthy people, normal people, everybody is moving to Dubai. Or at least it's what it seems like with the migration numbers the way they are.
All roads lead to Dubai, not just Allsop and Allsop.
All roads lead to Dubai and Allsop and Allsop.
Yeah, because when you move here, we'll find you a home.
And we'll help you find a job.
Yeah. And we'll probably employ you.
Right, you get a mortgage.
Yeah, maintenance.
We probably won't go through all services, but basically
foreign currency.
We can help
we
you.
We can do everything.
Okay, so then how I know we want to talk about the millionaires, and
yes.
let's keep it on that. But how does a millionaire migrate here and make it, how do we make it easy for them?
The surprising bit for me is, and this is for anyone listening to this, the surprising fact is not that millionaires are moving here. The surprising fact is that millionaires are being made from living in Dubai.
Okay.
And I could literally count, not on my hand, much more than my hand, people that have moved here and they've bought a property, forget investing and flipping, just buying a home. And 5 years ago, if they bought the home for £500,000, they're definitely categorically a millionaire today. That's just insane.
Especially when you consider that when you sell that property to buy another one, to move up the property market, you are not paying capital gains tax.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a place in London. I got it valued from Foxtons about 5 months ago. Shout out to Foxtons, #1 London company in Dubai. I really like what they are and what they're about. They come out, valued it, and we were talking about the market there. You are lucky if that market's gone up 5 to 3% in 5 years.
Yeah.
We got 3 to 5% in 2 months. Like,
so value increase was how much?
Near the same.
Nearly the same.
Virtually the same.
And that's in a prime location in London. You use Dubai as an example, much lower ticket price, but I bought a property, my first one in Dubai 3 years ago, and I sold it recently through Allsop and Allsop. almost double what I bought it for 3 years ago.
It's insane.
The market has
Was that
increased.
the one by Burj Khalifa?
It was.
Full Burj Khalifa view, but you've
Burj
lost your New Year's Eve, vibe
Yeah,
now.
thanks. So yeah.
yeah.
But I'm richer.
Yeah,
From it,
exactly.
so I can.
Well, you
buy
put it back into another property, so you're deep in again.
Well,
You're in the trap.
but it's the real, right, and that's where we go to next. You're investing the money back into real estate on the understanding that it's going to continue to increase.
Yeah, and you just become one of many numbers that have now invested not just physically money, but you've invested your time and your life into. And now you've got a mortgage, you've got a wife, you've got a dog, you've got all these things. You've got dogs. Sorry, I don't want to miss one of the dogs. And you're now part of the income stream to Dubai because you're spending money on cat food, dog food. Sorry, the transfer fee to do the ownership, the service fees. You are now part of that ecosystem. And there's more people like you that are making money buying houses and continuing that ecosystem. So there are a lot of millionaires. There's one guy that I walked past in Jamaica Golf Estate. It's a very good friend of mine. I've known him since I was like 20 years old. And I was, hey, you getting on? You okay? He bought a house from 6 years ago for 4 million dirhams. That's £1 million. He turned down an offer of 20 million on his house.
Which is £4 million.
£4 million. So he made £3 million on the property value. And I was like, I can't be more proud of these people there.
Did he sell?
No. Why would you? He didn't want to sell it.
Oh, fair.
You know what Darren Murphy's like? He calls you and go, if I can get you that money, would you be interested? Then he'll go and find the buyer. And that happened to me in the summer. Darren said to me the same thing. He's like, if I get you that money, and he got me the offer and I turned it down.
Not on
my home.
on your main home.
Yeah. It was tempting.
Wow.
But that's the market. For me, I don't want to cash out. I want to roll in this market. I think if you own a big house, this is my theory on investment. If you own a house, the most expensive house you can have, let's call it £10 million as an example. If that property market goes up 10% in that period, you make £1 million net on your profit. So the more you can stretch yourself on your purchase, later on, you've made it.
Well, your advice has always been, yours and Carl's advice has always been, whenever you're buying something, push yourself to the max.
I've gone broke on every house I've bought. And I tell everybody that, to the point of where you're going, oh, this hurts. But if you fast forward to where you are now, you sit in your home and you're like, look what I've done. The down payment is the pain, not the repayment.
Yeah.
People want to not have that money in their bank account. So,
but what's your saying, or what's your advice to people who say, no, I'm not going to buy yet. I'm going to wait for the market to whatever.
Drop. Let's to a drop.
Okay. Because you've just said there, it's length of time in market.
Yeah, it's time. It's not timing, it's time in market.
Time in, yeah.
And I've learned that along the way. I've had properties since my journey where I bought one house, the house I lived in for 5 million dirhams, okay? This is in 2000 and I would have been 26. What's that? However long that is. Anyway, I bought
and
it.
the equivalent of £1 million, just so we're clear.
£1 million, okay? It went up to 1.5 million, okay? The market dropped. It went down to £600,000. And a few of the agents were like, you need to sell it. It's going down. And my answer was, I don't care.
Yeah.
I live in Dubai. I've got this villa.
Yeah.
Time in market, it went back up.
Yeah.
I sold. I bought again. It went up again. Everybody needs to buy a home they like and treat it as a home, not an investment.
Yeah.
And the long term, you know what you'll always win in property? Inflation.
Yeah.
Hands down, inflation. A glass of water 20 years ago cost you 2p. You're paying nearly £2 or £3 for an Evian now.
Yeah.
Like inflation, property will always be the hedge to inflation. So for me, live in the house you're in, get the best one you can afford, go broke at the start, and later on, when the market goes at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5%, the gains are with it.
You said earlier on, it's not just about the millionaires making the move to Dubai, but it's actually the millionaires which are being made in Dubai.
Yeah.
We're a real estate company. Of course, we're going to suggest that investments into real estate are the best thing. You genuinely think that? Above everything else?
Yeah. I mean, crypto, perfect example. Let's use Bitcoin. I'm very thick at a lot of things, by the way. You know this, but I'm very, very good at property, and I just understand it. Bitcoin today, I'm going to call it $100,000, okay? You know Bitcoin semi well, yeah? Semi. Okay, if it doubled to $200,000, would everyone's head fall off in the world? Yes.
Well, yeah, because they'd be making 100% increase.
It would be the biggest bull market in the world. It would be over New York Times, everywhere. Everyone would say Bitcoin's reached 200,000, and it would be everywhere. Now, if you bought a property for £1 million with 20% down, Fast forward 5 years, it's probably going to go up 20% in Dubai. You would double your down payment. It would do more than the biggest bull market in Bitcoin history over a 5-year period. You can't go wrong. And the thing is with Bitcoin, and I say this to everybody, you can't live in Bitcoin. Yes,
True.
definitely I have Bitcoin. I have XRP. I have a few other things. I have shares and other things. But if you buy the best house you can and you leverage the deposit against the value, if the house goes up 5 million, you've only got down 20%, but you gain the whole property value. Leverage is massive for everyone. If you can leverage money, which property does for you, when it goes up, you massively win. So massively.
So timing market and inflation are the biggest.
Inflation is always going to happen.
Yeah.
We're going to have biscuits in 20 years' time. They're going to be 50 quid. It's going to happen. But hopefully at that point, you're earning 7 times more money.
Yeah.
Because that should be what happens.
Or we won't eat junk food because we'll be too expensive.
That'd be a good idea, yeah.
Okay, so then beyond what we see online, and I mean, this is a classic example of where we are today.
Yeah. This is Instagram, like this is Dubai. But
this is Dubai.
Yeah.
And I think slowly but surely we've been turning around so you can see a different view. But what about normality or affordability for people coming to Dubai? Because that's a big thing.
Yeah.
It isn't just rich people moving to Dubai. It's everybody moving to Dubai. What kind of communities?
Well, my brother's just moved here. My brother's 24 years old. I've got him into real estate. I said, look, trust me, you're going to change your life irrevocably. Dubai, and I'm telling you on camera, my brother's doing it, and I'm pushing you into it. You know, there's a reason.
He's not going to say it to anybody.
Yeah. Look, I'm not going to say it to anybody. My brother's coming in. I've got him an apartment for a year, and he's got an apartment, and it's about, I don't know, let's call it £13,000 a year. Okay. It's £900. It's furnished. It's ready to go. Yeah. Dubai is affordable if you want it to be. The problem is with a lot of people that move to Dubai is they want the glitz and glam on year one.
Yeah.
When I first moved to Dubai, I was paying £300 a month for a room share in Al Karama, which is near the airport. Like it's like a long way away.
You were in Al Karama?
Yeah, Al Karama. Wow. My weekends used to be I'd get out of my apartment, I'd walk down the street, and I'd buy one of the little dodgy DVDs, and then you'd go down there. DVD? Yeah, DVDs people did used to do that.
Yeah, no, yeah.
And then you'd have some food on the street, and then you'd go back, put the CD in my laptop because didn't have a TV, and you'd watch that. So people do that. It's just that the way the world is today, everyone wants the Instagram life. If you say to somebody new to Dubai, go and live in Karama, like, why would I do that when this is here?
Yeah.
People are not willing to do that.
Well, it's tomorrow culture. Everybody wants everything now. Yeah. And you can't. It takes time. But I really didn't know you were buying dodgy DVDs and living in Al Karama.
Yeah.
How life has changed.
Yeah, good times, mate. Good times. But yeah, so I mean, look, the key takeaways from today's podcast really is people are definitely making money in Dubai in property and property ownership and investments, and there are millionaires being made in Dubai. But being the third biggest migrating country in the world and the taxations, do we believe Dubai is at the end of its bull run, or do you think we're at the start or the middle? Where do you see it?
I definitely don't think we're at the end, and we're definitely not at the start. I think
so the middle.
I think but I don't know how far through the middle, because it's still very affordable in comparison to other cities around the world.
I said to someone the other day, my apartment in London, it's 1,000 square feet, and it's about 10 million dirhams. 10 million, and it's zone one. It's Earl's Court, so it's 2 stops from Knightsbridge, but it's not the best street ever.
Yeah.
To put that into context, 10,000 dirhams a square foot for Earl's Court is the same price that's trading for the Atlantis Royal. The Atlantis Royal has the beach, the sea, the restaurants, and that is category A.
It is.
Earl's Court is not. So when you start running comparables of the UK versus, one of the biggest things millionaires are saying is, wow, even though the market's gone up a lot, and I wish I'd gotten 3 or 4 years ago, if I sold my place in London, so the biggest, most expensive house in London sold about 6 months ago, 3 months ago. I think it's £145 million the apartment sold for.
We're talking about the townhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sold for £145 million. If that house sold here, it'd probably half the price for a key location.
Yeah.
Because 145 million is 650 million.
Are there transactions at that level going on in Dubai? No.
300-400 million for the best villas in Dubai at the moment.
I know we've had a 46% increase in properties over 20 million, right?
That's Allsop and Allsop data. Since we've opened the private office, we're seeing a massive influx of people looking for $10 million villas and above. I used to think $10 million as an investment was like, oh my God, it's 10 million. But as the market's raised, 10 million is actually, it's luxury.
Yeah.
Super luxury.
Well, yeah.
It's different.
Yeah. But super luxury here is still more affordable than super luxury in other parts of the world.
Agreed.
And they don't have all of the other elements that we've talked about today.
Agreed.
So you're already in Dubai.
Yep.
But if you were in the UK now, would you go Australia, Spain, or UAE?
I like Spain. I think the weather's good in Spain. The culture's good. The people, I like the idea of the siestas.
Even with 100% tax?
Well, I hope I'll be in a position where I wouldn't care about that in 10 years. But yeah, I think just having a property there and the weather. I mean, I go to Ibiza in the summer. I've been to Marbella a few years ago. Like, I like the weather there and the people. But again, it goes back to the same thing. So my wife basically said to me this summer, Lewis, let's get a villa in Ibiza and we'll get our family to come. So it's one of the things she wants to do. And do you know, I've been really reluctant to do it. Robberies.
Yes.
So
I hear a lot of this in Marbella as well.
In Ibiza as well. So basically, you'll find people in on it, the cleaners, the cooks and everything else. And then you just realise, like, let's say, for instance, where I live now, there's a gated community, security guards, you can't get in. Like, I tried to get to Victory Heights with there as a cut through to my kid's school. And I had an argument with the guy. I was like, mate, let me through. I used to live here. He's like, I need your ID. Mate, let me through. Need your ID. Wouldn't let me through.
Yep.
And I like that.
Yeah.
And I think that is such a plus point to a lot of people. In the house I'm in now, 10 yards from the entrance of my house, there is security guard 24/7.
Yeah.
When you go to an apartment here, most of them have concierge in with a CCTV that's linked to CID.
Yeah.
So everyone's face from Emirates ID, you know who's in there.
Yeah. But it goes back to what I said earlier on, ID cards.
Yeah.
The way that the Emirates ID is working, I think works for the UAE to keep it safe, right?
I agree. I do agree.
So all in all, we're saying more millionaires are welcome in Dubai. More normal people are welcome in Dubai.
But Dubai is creating a culture of success and wealth. And if you want to be part of that, with or without Allsop and Allsop, I would strongly recommend planting your roots here, your business is here, your family here, and betting on Dubai like I have and you have over the years. If you do that, fast forward 5 years, financially, mentally, and healthily, you will be in the best place you could be.
There's no way we can top that.
Cheers, guys.